talk about the muscle, I mean, I have been walking for 5 months and my muscle doesn't change from when I'm lifting super heavy weight. Like they call me Quadzilla in college. I just have like thicker legs.
Yeah.
You know, I've had like good muscle definition since I was 5. Thankful to my parents, you know, but it is hard. And I see this a lot with girls coming out of college sports. And there's a lot of eating disorders. There's a lot of body dysmorphia, body image issues. Girls don't like how they look. And so how did you handle that? And how do you view your body today?
That's tough, especially in the sport of gymnastics too. And I think volleyball is similar because you wear skimpy clothes too. And my coach never really talked about the weight thing or gaining weight. It was like, if I had a good day, he was Chinese. If I had a good practice, he'd say, what did you eat for lunch? You need to eat that every single day.
I don't care what it was.
Yeah, I don't care what it was. Then I started making national team, and other girls' coaches were really intense about their diet and what they're eating. And I mean, growing up, I had macaroni and cheese and chicken fingers, so I was like, guess I'll try this whole salad thing. Yeah. I put ketchup on salad because I didn't like it at first. And that's what you eat when you're on international assignments. You have what they're eating, or you don't eat. And so I quickly learned how to eat healthy and what the protocol for that type of elite gymnast is like. And so I started getting, your thoughts change, right? Of like, okay, nothing's good enough. I'm not skinny enough. But if you're too skinny, then you don't have the energy to do the flips you need to do. And so how do I still be powerful and have muscle, but also like be skinny? And so it's this back and forth of, where's the line? And I think because we didn't work with nutritionists and because we didn't have a professional speak with us about what's healthy, especially at that stage. And I think that was hard for a lot of us. I was one of the lucky ones. I never had an eating disorder, although I tried to have one once, and I liked food a lot. I wasn't very good at it. And then I went to college, and I kind of learned about being, an athlete. And so football players at their best level have to eat probably more than they want to eat because they need that. And so gymnasts need to eat as lean as possible because they need that. And so it was kind of figuring out as an athlete and as a gymnast specifically what my body needed to recover. So if you're not eating, you are going to get injured more. Your body's not recovering from it. And so I think I had to learn the hard way of what my body liked. But after I tore my Achilles my junior year, I was like, okay, I don't like spinach, but I read somewhere that it's going to help heal my body. So I'm going to do everything in my power to heal my body and to keep me healthy for 2 years, or it's not worth it. Then I'm not going to come back.
Right.
So I think it's a journey, and I think everyone's probably still on that journey of going between the coffee and the wine and like the salads and the burgers, of enjoying life. Because post-athlete, you want to enjoy life. You live that disciplined life. I want to have pizza sometimes and cookies, but also I want to still be in shape and like not feel like crap after I eat.
So when you look at yourself now, what are the thoughts in your head?
I think I'm still muscular, and it's funny because when strangers come up to you and say things to you, it also builds your perception of yourself. And you're like, oh, it's not what I'm going for, but like I appreciate it. They probably mean it as a compliment, but you're like, oh, it's like not really what I'm going for. But I'm still leaning out, so I'm still trying to lose muscle. Doing a lot of cardio. Ran 5 miles this morning.
Good girl.
Lots of hikes, but I noticed that my body likes walking a lot, which is strange, and I'm almost embarrassed to say that as like a former athlete. How much my body enjoys walking. I was in Rio for the 2016 Olympics, went to Machu Picchu in Bolivia after that, and I was so nervous that I was going to gain a bunch of weight because I wasn't going to be focused on working out. And I was going to eat whatever I wanted because I was on vacation. I lost 10 pounds just walking like crazy. So I think everybody's body is so different. Like you said, it's really hard for you to gain muscle. And me, I could watch someone do pull-ups and I would gain muscle. So that's how easy it is and how just finicky my body is. A lot of Pilates. I like hot yoga and cardio, basically.
Yeah, and I think you're in a unique role now because you are such a role model to young women. So is that something that you cover when you're talking to them as part of your curriculum at Being Queen?
It's not. I don't feel like I'm a professional, so I don't want to speak to them as an amateur thinking, yes, I've had the experiences, but I would rather have a professional. So that's something that I want to do when I grow it, is have hire someone who's a nutritionist, and one of my former teammates is a nutritionist for Ohio State. She was a gymnast, had her on my podcast. It's not out yet, but that's what we talk back and forth about. And how can coaches, whether you're in the gymnastics world or volleyball, how can coaches identify, you do need to be in shape because you're gonna get injured. Yeah. So there's part of that where it does need to be a discussion, but what's the healthy way of bringing nutrition and fitness into the conversation at such a trying age, when you're a teenage girl, where everything is sensitive at that age. So how do you do that in a way where it's going to help them grow later in life and it's not going to haunt them later in life?
Right. I'm curious what the reality is in the gymnastics world, because I only know, what I see and what I hear in terms of the cattiness and the competition. Yeah. How prevalent is that in the sport?
Well, gosh, the competition's always there, right? So, technically it's an individual sport. It gets less individualized in college. But what I always tell people, and I get this question a lot, is gymnastics is way too hard. If you don't make friends along the way, you will not make it. Those girls that I was in China with, or the year before at World Championships, you're gone for 3-4 weeks at a time. You're going to sleep in the same room with them and not be their friend. A couple of them live out here today. Another one I have a workout company with, and another one I trained with. Like, we are best friends. We are binded for sisters, like sisters. We bicker and argue like sisters. We love each other like sisters. And I know that sounds like such a media answer, but it's true when it comes to the competition. And I think the girls coming up will say the same thing of, yeah, it is the tough days when your other friends aren't there and your coach is frustrated with you and your parents aren't there. Like, who's going to give you that pep talk?
Right.
Who's going to tell you that it's okay? I can't imagine. There were so many times those girls got in my face and they're like, listen, it's a bad day. It's not defining you, or whatever the conversation was. Take a deep breath and go. Like, wow. You have to do this. And it was like, okay, we were a family.